Hey what's up guys, Bryce here. We're back at it again for another video, and in this video I'm going to be doing a Hotlap guide of Road Atlanta. This is a really fun track, one of my favorites, and I've come to like it more and more the more I drive it. This is sort of a high downforce track, but there's a really long straight in the back, so it's a really good opportunity for passing. So you kind of have to make compromise for that, and with the infield section, which is pretty twisty and windy, but you can get away with a high downforce setup as we will be using this for NARL. So without further ado, let's get right into this. Alright, so coming out the last corner is pretty self-explanatory. It's all flat out. Going into turn 1, I really want to open up this corner as much as I can, so I get as close as I can to that white line, flicking the car in very easy on the brakes and easy on the power. With these new changes to the aero, it is very easy to lose the rear end. Using curb on the left to flick the car into this right-hand curb, clip it as much as you can without getting a track invalidation. Going through the S's here, it's all flat out, but you still need to be careful the line that you take through here. Braking on that curb on the right, using the curb on the left. Depending on what car you're using and how aggressive you want to be, you can use a lot of curb, but it is very risky. Braking at the 200 meter board there on the left, we compromise the exit for the entry. This is all about exit here. Get as close as you can to that curb on the right. It's kind of a hit or miss because sometimes you can go over it and it'll really unsettle the car. But you can get a really good exit there. Depending on the car you're using, you want to be in first gear. With the BMW, I tend to be in second gear, just because you can get on the power a little bit quicker and not have to deal about wheel spinning because the first gear is so short. Braking at the 100 meter board, diagonally braking towards that curb to open up these two chicanes here, and then we're going to use that exit curb on the right, keeping a tight line on the inside, and we're going to come across the line. It is a pretty short lap, but that is a lap at Road Atlanta. Now let's move on to more of an in-depth guide. Okay, so here we go for a in-depth guide. Let's break this down for you. Going down into turn 1, you can see I'm braking. Right when the grass ends is usually when I go on the brakes. You want to go on the brakes maybe about 60-50%. It all depends on the car you're driving and also how much downforce you have. I'm running a lot of downforce, so I can really use this to my advantage and brake super late going into turn 1, later than you think you can brake, but don't wash out wide. Get as close as you can to that line left. You can see we're peaking at around 40, even 30. And then we're gonna hit this inside curb. Make sure you just don't drift out too wide, because once you drift out wide, the track keeps getting tighter and tighter and it will suck you into the grass. So kind of take a midline going through there. Use that curb on the left just like I did there, and this curb on the right, you can really use a lot of that curb. I didn't use as much as I could have used, but use that curb to your advantage and be comfortable with the curbs. Don't be afraid to take them. The S's here is pretty self-explanatory, flat out. Just take the straightest line through here. You might have to lift a little bit in the beginning to rotate the car. Use the curb on the right and flick it into the left. You can see we're pretty much using all of the curb on the left that we can, and straight line that exit. Don't be afraid to get on the power as soon as you can. There's a lot of runoff there and you will not get an off track. Again, be confident with these curbs and don't be afraid to use them, because you can gain a lot of time. Braking right after the 200 meter board, that is 200 meters, not 100, and attack the entry as best as you can, because it's not really mattered here as the exit is mattered most here. I use that curb on the left to set myself up for the right, and you can see this is when we're getting on throttle. We start to get on throttle basically when the curb starts on the right, so just get on gas as soon as you can, nice and smoothly, and you can use the exit curb as well. But it's all about getting on the throttle as soon as you can and getting as close as you can to the curb on the inside, depending on the car you're driving. I know with the Lamborghini it's a little bit aggressive. With the BMW you can clip it, but really just get on the gas as soon as you can, because this straight is a really big passing opportunity. We're braking here at the 100 meter board, slightly before the 100. You can brake at that white line. It's very risky though, and you really need to practice this as much as you can. Braking at the 100 meter board to 100%. I'm braking diagonally towards the curb and using this inside curb here. You can use a lot more of this. Don't be afraid to use this curb as well. I did not use enough, so keep that in mind. Use as much as that curb and this curb as well. Watch out for the grass on the inside though, because you're going up a hill. We are going up the crest and then down the hill, and keep tight to the right there, and depending on a race situation or qualifying situation will determine your line through that last corner there, which is turn 12. Only 12 corners on this track, but it is a big handful. So that's going to be it for me. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.